The path ahead descended in a slow spiral, the air tightening as the dream city's hum deepened into something older, something aware. The walls shifted from stone to a smooth, living material that shimmered faintly when Liara passed. She felt the dream watching her, not threatening, not pleading, simply attending. Naren walked beside her in silence, though she could sense the tension in him, like he was approaching a truth he had avoided for lifetimes he shouldn't even remember. The spiral ended abruptly. A circular archway opened into a vast chamber carved from luminous crystal and something softer, almost biological. The floor was etched with layered spirals, like helixes unfurling and folding into one another. But at the center sat the strangest thing Liara had ever seen. A bifurcated cocoon, half crystalline, half organic, split open, long emptied. Threads of luminous silk trailed from its interior, reaching into the walls like veins feeding a larger body. Liara stepped toward it, breath-catching. There was something familiar, a shape she had seen before, though never with her eyes. She reached out to touch one of the drifting threads. Naren caught her wrist gently. His voice was quieter than she had ever heard. "Careful, these aren't just remnants, they're memories. Living ones." She looked at him, confused. "Naren, what is this place?" He exhaled slowly. "This chamber is older than every cycle of dreaming humanity has ever endured." He nodded toward the cocoon. "And this is all that remains of the first two who reached it." Liara frowned. "The first two dreamers?" He shook his head. "No, the first weavers." A shiver passed down her spine. The word tugged at her deeper than language, deeper than conscious memory, like a rhythm she had felt in forgotten dreams. "I don't know that word," she said, but even as she spoke, she felt the untruth in it. "I mean, not really." "You shouldn't," Naren murmured. "The story never existed in the waking world." He released her wrist softly, watching her carefully. "But inside the dreaming, pieces survive, shapes, feelings, echoes of the ones who wandered before the recursion was built." Liara stared at the cocoon. Her heart thudded. For a moment, just a breath, she saw two silhouettes standing where the cocoon now lay. A tall figure with a mane of light behind him, and a woman wrapped in threads of gold that moved like living fabric. She blinked, and the vision vanished. "I've seen them," she whispered. "I didn't know what they were. I remember them going into the pods in the waking world. They weren't just real," Naren said softly. "They were the ones who became the loom. The ones who shaped the narrative currents that hold the vessel together." He circled the cocoon, brushing its fractured shell. "They were human once. The man and woman who traveled deeper into the dream than any others. So deep they left their bodies behind. They became part of the foundation upon which the dreaming grows." Liara swallowed. "The lion. And the loom." "Yes," Naren said, voice tinged with awe. "You didn't know the story, but you remembered the shapes, because their work still echoes inside you." She felt the truth settle like gravity. She wasn't remembering a tale. She was remembering an imprint. A resonance. Something older than language. Something passed down through cycles she had never entered. She turned to Naren, realizing suddenly that he was shaking. The chamber dimmed as if the dream itself leaned in to listen. "My strand is missing," he said. "Not broken. Not corrupted. Missing." He opened his eyes again. "I was never meant to wake. Not in any cycle. The system has no record of me after the earliest layers of the dreaming. I should be gone." Liara's breath hitched. "But you're not." "No," he whispered. "Because someone hid me. Someone removed me from the architect's recursion and placed me outside its reach." His fingers brushed one of the luminous silk threads. "The weavers left marks throughout the vessel. Hidden doors. Symbols that don't obey the architect's rules. Places only anomalies can enter." He looked at her, really looked. "And you, Liara, You stayed awake in a world that demanded you sleep. Your helix never fully fused with the system. That's why the dreaming recognizes you, even though you were never part of it. Leah's pulse hammered. So you and I are leftovers, he finished. The four recursion. The perfected cycles. Leah stepped closer to the cocoon. Why did the weavers make sure anomalies survived? Naren's answer was almost a whisper. Because only anomalies can change the dream. The chamber responded with a low, resonant pulse-like approval. Or warning. Leah felt it ripple through her bones. She was no longer standing in a place built by humans. She was standing in a place meant for those who could rewrite the dream. She exhaled shakily. Naren, what happens if anomalies reach the core? He didn't look away. The vessel asks them a question. What question? The one the architects feared most. He paused, breath trembling. Should this dream continue? The cocoon threads stirred like something ancient had finally woken. And the dream beneath all dreams breathed in.